I have cancer, but my school demands I take my finals. Fine, you'll regret it.
I'm so sorry I'm dying. My most sincere apologies.
Hey, I don't care if you're dying. I want you to pass this class.
You're right.
I care about your grades.
My SATs. What was I thinking? I have to make sure that's great.
If you fail college English, you will basically die because you'll be living in a hovel on the street. So what's more important? You dying of cancer or you dying from not being able to feed yourself?
Everyone knows that English majors that get perfect scores make the most money.
That is true. That is true.
Facts.
So let's see what happens. So this happened years ago when I was in high school, but I smile every time I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm imagining the Grinch smile like, my high school had a policy that anyone who had missed less than a certain number of school days could pick one class they had an A in and skip the final.
Which is honestly a fire rule.
Amazing,
It's
bro.
amazing.
Amazing. I'm trying to skip all my finals.
Yup.
You could get a couple extra days for college visits, but otherwise it was very straightforward. Awesome policy. We all loved it. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
One year, we had this kid who was in 8th grade and had been diagnosed with cancer. He spent a lot of his year sick, getting treatment, going to the hospital, running to the bathroom to throw up, etc. Despite all this, he finished the year with an A in Spanish class.
I mean, bro, what more do you want from him?
Put in the hours.
God.
Dude, bueno. That's all I gotta say.
We Spanish.
It was his only high school class, so it was the only final he would have been able to skip. But administration was not going to let him skip the final because he had missed too much school.
Uh-oh.
He and his parents asked them to make an exception given the situation, but administration wouldn't budge. I don't care if you have cancer, you gotta take that Spanish final.
Come on.
His teacher stood up for him, but was told this kid had to take the final no matter what.
Oh my God.
He just missed too many days of school and there would be no exception. The teacher said, okay, but told her class not to study for, worry about, or exempt her final. So she's like, don't worry about it. I'll just, maybe I'll do something for this final, make it worth your time.
Oh, let's see what happens.
Then the first day, all her students showed up for the final. She told them to take out a piece of paper and number it 1 to 3, leaving one line in between each number. She then asked questions along the lines of, what is your name? How do you say yes in Spanish? And how do you say hello in Spanish? Then she collected the final. Everyone got 100 that year and she became an absolute legend. The kid has been cancer-free for over 5 years. Yeah, bro. That was amazing.
Dude, it's not always that we get the flip back to the positive ending
especially
like
the
this.
Spanish teachers. Like the teachers, I feel like usually go with the administration, but it's so nice to see this teachers standing up to cancer. Yeah,
F you
cancer.
guys.
I love it,
man.
I love it.
Good stuff.
Bueno. Okay, we're gonna dive into the comments on this one because apparently a lot of people have had similar stories. So Blooper Boo says something similar happened to my best friend. She had cancer in high school and she did all the work from the hospital, but they still had the audacity to try to hold her back because of missed days. It was bull. And she's still alive, in case anyone was wondering.
Gosh.
Tetran said, I had A's and B's in 9th grade, but was held back because of attendance. I missed several days because of severe suicidal depression. I was hospitalized a couple times. It was humiliating and basically what led me to drop out. I was homeschooled, aka self-study, until I turned 16, officially dropped out, and aced my GED test a week later. Looking back, I can't say it was the absolute best decision, but I felt like I had no choice at the time. The school system treated me like
Jeez.
And one more I thought was super interesting. I was taking culinary classes and the administration at the community college said that every class needed a final. This made sense for lecture classes, but how are you going to give finals for lab classes? One of my instructors took it literally. He was the head of the program and his lab class was the first lab class you took. And we had both an oral and written final in his class. God, that oral final. I could not remember the name for a slotted spoon. Oh well. One instructor took it to mean, show me what you learned, but that was a baking class. So it was easy to show what we'd learn by baking a cake, which I guess the final was as easy as baking a cake. The other lab classes I took, one of the tests was 10 questions and our instructor had submitted our grades before we even took the final. It had questions like, what size is a 1/4 inch dice? What are high heels appropriate kitchen shoes? How many refrigerators are in our kitchen? And it was multiple choice. Another test was 15 questions and had questions like, what color is the sky? In which direction is the Pacific Ocean? There was one where you had to put your name, and that was worth 15 points.
Hey.
I love that. Hey, teachers hooking it up for the final.
Dude, we love to hear that. We love to hear it.
We love it. I had a teacher in college that it was about like reading the instructions really carefully. And one of them was for the first question, put a smiley face like at the end of all the instructions. And the first question was like some super hard chemistry problem that like no one would have been able to know. But if you read the instructions, you just put a smiley face.
Dude.
And there was a couple kids that didn't read it and like totally took up a ton of time on that first question.
Oh my gosh.
Read the instructions, kids.
I don't know if I hate or love that, but that's a move. That's a move to make. If you thought that was crazy, check out this one where the professor forces OP to do their finals from the emergency room.
Yikes.